Everyone, back with Jazz because he is a rock star in the space. Excited to have him and just kind of do a casual chat since the last time we were here and go over some things that are happening in the local newsletter space. So thanks for jumping back on again, Jazz.
No, of course. Yeah, always a pleasure and happy to see how we can help others. So,
Absolutely. So first thing, because I learned about it today, and I think I just sent you the link. I don't think you knew about it either. There's a conference called Business of Local that's happening in October in Salt Lake City, and it looks like it's specifically for local media companies. So I just want to throw that out there for you specifically, but also for anybody listening. I already booked my ticket this morning because this sounds right up our alley. So any thoughts on that?
when is it? When is it? And
It's
second, what's the cost?
it's October 19th to 21st in Salt Lake City, and I paid about $400.
Okay,
So
that's not terrible. That's not
yeah,
terrible.
of course you got to pay flights and hotel too. So it's always 3x whatever the number is. But still, I think you know I went to the conference here in Austin early. I don't know, almost a year ago now. I think, and it was super valuable. And that was just a general newsletter conference. It wasn't anything local specific, but it was really valuable just being around people so deep in our space, which is already very, very niche, right? And
Yeah.
so it's difficult for people like us to meet in person. We can really get to know people and hang out for multiple days. It
hmm
is a really great experience. And this one seems like it might be better since it's all local.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I think yeah, anyone that's interested in the space probably worth at least taking a look, seeing who the speakers and stuff are. So I'll definitely
Yeah.
be taking a look and seeing if it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Check it out. So if you're going to go, email me, let me know. Would love to know some people who are going to go before I get there because I'm usually, it sucks when you show up and you don't know anybody. So anyway, cool, man. All right, well, let's talk about a couple things. So first thing I want to get your take on, Louis from Spark Loop. His podcast, by the way, is really good. It's called Letterland, and he just did an episode in the last couple days about Matt, who was on my show a week or two ago when he did his cash drop, and they got a million. I think it ended up with over 1.5 million last I checked. But so they talked a lot about it. Again, not from a local angle, so they got a few things wrong here and there, but overall they had the general concept, and
hmm
that there's pros and cons to it, and all that. But
Yeah.
I'm curious what you think about it. Have you done it? Are you thinking about doing it? Um, what are your just thoughts about this kind of going around right now?
Yeah, I mean, my personal thought, it's easy. It's an easy way to definitely build your audience, or at least to get started. If I were to be honest, I don't think it's a good brand play though. It doesn't really associate you with the best type of audience that you're trying to build. Because yeah, like the more giveaways and stuff you do, you can definitely build the audience much, much, much faster. But at the same time, you're also gonna get an audience that's not as engaged as you would like it to be, right? So you might get 10,000 followers, but are getting, I don't know, 20 likes a post or something like that, right? Because a lot of those people might not be interested in the other content that you're posting. So yeah, it might be good to increase your follower count, but I don't think that's kind of the goal long term for any company. Like, I don't think you're building any trust by doing that. Um, I just think that there's better options to, even be able to utilize that cash, whether that's using that cash to create some sort of a creative local restaurant series or something along those lines, right? So I don't think that's a good move, especially for people looking to build long-term trust in their audience. Um, I also think like we have a kind of a meme page here for the city. And I think that's more the content that they would post. I think it's more up their alley than it is more of like a family friendly type of situation, or like family friendly angle or family friendly company, I guess you can say.
Interesting. Okay. The way I think about it, as I've thought more about it, and after listening to Louis talk a bit about it, as I totally see your point as well, as like, if is that the best, the type of people who'd be really excited about that are kind of the opposite of who reads our newsletters, right? Upper middle class people, homeowners, you know,
hmm
50-year-old moms are like not the ones who care about this
Yep.
generally. Um, so in that sense, it kind of makes sense. But I also think about it as, yeah, you wouldn't want to build your brand solely on this kind of thing. Like that's all you kind of did. Of course, that's not the goal of most likely the brand you're trying to build. But I like to think about it as it just being one of many different types of things that you do. So like if you did a cash drop once or twice a month and you do giveaways of like restaurant gift cards once or twice a month and you do like What was I was talking to ChatGPT about some ideas like can't remember what they call it. It was like kindness, overtake kindness, like go into a restaurant and like film and like just randomly pay for people's stuff, like at the front restaurant and and then doing, Jacob's type of content where it's more news, informational, what's happening in town. And if you just kind of have like all these different angles that you cover, you kind of can build that umbrella brand that does a lot of things as opposed to just one or two things.
Hmm.
And that's kind of where I'm thinking about. Plus, I also think this is definitely dependent on your audience and your location, what type of people. I know like with Ryan, okay, it's like if you're in a really high end area,
Yeah,
probably makes less sense for
yeah.
sure. But the middle class or even lower middle class area, it might make more sense. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, but I think I think you should do a few things really well in the beginning and then try and expand, right? I definitely wouldn't do this to begin with. Um, I would probably introduce this once I've kind of built a few thousand followers. I have some trust in the community. People have heard my name a little bit, right? Then it makes a lot more sense. Agreed, even with the whole kindness play, paying for someone's meal and I think that's personally a much better angle than just putting $100 on duct tape, you know? And the reason I say that is you're supporting a local business, you're going to be promoting a local business. People are so much more likely to get behind that, right? And it's an act of kindness. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I think it's okay. It's not a bad play or a bad way to do it. But I would probably say that you should do it after you've established at least some base level of community in the city.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just think what gets so exciting about I think why so many of us are in this space is the optionality we have of so many different things we can do. It's just
Yeah.
really, really exciting because you can use your imagination and take it so many different ways. One of the things they kind of talked about, which I have thought about before, my partner in one of my locations kind of did this. Although I think you could take it even further. The bigger audience you have is more of a scavenger hunt play, right? Like they actually did this here in Austin where we paid like for our family like $40 to go do this scavenger hunt had nothing to do with money. You didn't win money or anything. It was just like a fun scavenger hunt, and it was really fun and unique, right? And so like, but that was of course Austin and a bigger company. How could you do that as a smaller thing that you could do in an area, whether you have a cash giveaway or gift card giveaway at the end or not? I think there's a lot of angles to that as well. So it's just fun to think about all this stuff.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
100%. I think it all depends on what part of the journey you're at, right? And that kind of correlates to the type of things that you can do. For example, if I'm just starting out, I think the focus should be just to build the audience, right? Because then that will give you a lot more flexibility on what you want to do when you have a larger audience. Not saying you shouldn't monetize along the way, but I think try and put so much effort into, let's say, a scavenger hunt only for 5 people to do it, right? Like, isn't really worth the squeeze. Whereas in the beginning, you're much better off putting that effort behind growing your audience, and then once you've grown your local audience, then that gives you the optionality to now do whichever thing you want to do, test different things, right? And that's kind of what we have done this summer is just test a bunch of things with events and coffee parties and now Christmas lights for the winter, right? Like we're just spending a lot of time testing a bunch of things out. So
let's talk about some of those because I know last time we talked, you talked about the coffee party thing. Any update there?
yeah, I mean it went well. We did our second one. I'm not sure if I we had did our second one or not
No,
yet.
I think you'd only done one. I think when we talked.
Yeah, so we just did our second one. It was another sold out event. This time it was 75 people. We had a Jenga tournament. We gave away pastries to winners. Losers had to take espresso shots. Like it was a great turnout. Everyone had really fun. We can definitely do it. I think it's just a matter of like where I want to put my time, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so right now, like those are a little bit on the hold. Like we'll probably do them again come following summer or something like that. But right now, I'm trying to focus a little bit more on higher leverage opportunities where I feel like a lot more money can be made for, the same effort or even less effort.
Totally. So, what do you think those are? Is can I assume one of them is the Christmas lights thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, for the winter, I'm trying to put my eggs in one basket, and that's gonna be for Christmas lights. Let's see how it goes. We put our first order in for lights. They came in starting of August, I think, like August 4th or something like that. Um, they came in. We ran like a giveaway on our newsletter for one person to get a free home for the first year. They're gonna get a free home. We ended up picking a winner. We got 300 entries. Um, and now every other person we're just giving $150 off to. We've reached out to we probably got on call with like 30 people by now, 30 to 40. We booked I think 7 design consultations out of that, and then we had our first one this past Saturday. I was very nervous going and walking up to that house. Um, but then I had bought a course regarding Christmas lights, so that had really helped and stuff for me. And then we ended up closing them for $2,500, which was huge. Yeah.
Damn, I thought
So
we
our yeah, no, no, no. Our average thing for even going out is going to be about $800. So that's going to be our average. I mean, minimum order value, and then our average is probably going to be around. I'm assuming for the season, like 1,100, $1,200.
so was this just a house, like a really big house? Is that why it's so much?
It was a big house, but usually, like the people that are gonna get the lights are gonna be in well-off areas, anyways.
Yeah.
Because people with smaller homes, we're still gonna charge them $800 for just coming out, and doing the lights for them, and it's not gonna be worth it for them, right? To spend $800 on a small house. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. So, by the way, I really like your idea of okay. So you did it. I didn't think about this. So you did a giveaway. So this is new. You
Mhm.
did like I'm gonna do one. You get 300 responses. I assume you had their emails, right? Or
We
how?
had everything. So we
Yeah.
for the giveaway we got phone numbers, email, home address, and then we also asked them on a scale to 1 to 5, if you don't win the giveaway, how interested are you in getting Christmas lights anyways? Um, and then out of the 300, we probably had about 240 that said that was either 3 or above. So then we just filtered in the Google Sheets with anyone that's the 3 or above, right? I went in and I basically highlighted every single row that kind of had a home over the value of like 500-ish thousand. Um, right? And then so basically I only call those people and give them $150 off. Yeah.
So yeah, this is such a good idea too. Like the giving them a discount as well, right? So now you essentially got a lead list
Yeah.
by giving them and giving them money off. Like, dude, that is really good. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to why I'm a big Hermosi fan, but I just
Mhm.
heard that in a podcast of his where he had recommended that to like he had recommended that to a offshore hiring company basically. So he was like, "Yo, you guys should just do a giveaway and say that, like for I think it was the my first million one that he did, right? And he was telling Sean that he's like for their offshore hiring company anywhere or something, right?
Yeah.
Um, you should just do a giveaway and say that the first year of that VA is going to be paid for by the company, right? And then the rest, anyone that enters is basically a lead. And then you can just give them like a few dollars off or something and just say, hey, we saw that you're interested in hiring a VA. That's why you entered the giveaway, right? We can give you whatever, $100 off, $1,000 off, whatever it might be, right? Just to get things started. Because you know it's a high LTV customer. Like
Yeah.
if you can, yeah, yeah.
That is
So same thing with Christmas lights, right? Like Christmas lights, we know I haven't, obviously, this is our first season, but what I've known from people is it has about an 85% retention rate year over year, in terms of clientele. So I know that if I get someone in the door once, even if I give them $150 discount, I'll just make back that money in the following years.
yeah. High LTV business with that kind of retention. Yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer. So you got me thinking. I'm gonna have to when we're done here. I'm gonna have to really dig into this. But this seems like something that could apply in many more ways, like you said, right? This is not a Christmas lights thing. This could apply in
Yep.
many other things. So that's a really cool idea, man. I love that.
Yeah, no, I think it's I mean, we're gonna try a few more different things, of course, and then really try and see how many leads we can just get from Winnipeg Digest on its own. So,
Hmm. Are you gonna
yeah.
do? I'm curious. Are you gonna try? I mean, obviously, it may depend on how many leads you get from the newsletter. But are you thinking about trying meta ads for this as well?
Yeah, our goal for the first season is about $100,000, about 80 homes for in 10 weeks. If we're able to do that, if I can get 80 homes through Winnipeg Digest, great.
Hmm.
I think I realistically think I just need to get 30 through Winnipeg Digest, and the rest will be word of mouth
Yeah.
because a big part of Christmas lights is the visual appeal. And, a lot of the times, let's say we do a house, we put a yard sign in, and then, the neighbors will call, someone else walking by will call, right? So I think even if we get 30 homes from Winnipeg Digest, that's going to translate into like 80 homes on its own, even if we don't run any ads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Are you in the newsletter? Were you making it clear that it's you,
Yeah.
or you do make clear it's you and your business and everything? It's not a random business.
Yeah, I was about to call the business like Santa's on Ladders or something like that.
Mhm.
Okay, but then I was like, you know what? No, I want to keep it on brand. I'm gonna call it Digest Lights.
Nice.
Because I was gonna call it something else, but then I was getting too Christmassy in case, let's say, we wanted to get into permanent lights in the summer,
Mhm.
then the Santa's on Ladders wouldn't really make sense. So rather than doing that, we're just like, you know what, we're gonna call it Digest Lights. It's gonna be an offshoot of Winnipeg Digest. We haven't gotten around to doing the whole branding and everything for it. We probably won't do it for the first season anyways. But then, come second season, if it's a success, then we'll make the branding very similar to the Winnipeg Digest branding as well.
Yeah, totally. Love this. I'm excited to be proud of this guy. This is really cool. Love it.
Yeah. No, it
Did
should
you?
be interesting.
Yeah, real quick, because I'm just so fascinated on a business perspective. Do you have help yet so far? Like saying you want to do 80 homes. Do you find people?
Yeah, for the first season, I have a cousin here who's kind of semi-interested in coming into this with me. I'm just going in on a 70-30 profit split with them for the first season. No strings attached to it though, so if let's say second season, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Mhm.
There's no equity or anything at this point. Down the road, if like let's say I do find that hey, this person or in this case my cousin can go ahead and take over the whole business, run the day to day and stuff, and I can just be the CMO slash marketing person.
Yeah.
Then I wouldn't even mind giving up equity for it. But that's kind of where I'm standing right now. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to talk about that as it gets closer. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Tell me something that I've been pondering a lot. So I heard, I mean, I think about this a lot in general, but Nathan May, do you know who he is? He's
No.
he's a newsletter. He's general newsletter guy. But he's super sharp. He's on Beehive's podcast all the time. Just really sharp. Works with the 7-figure brands. And just he was talking more about like how we all know this, but how important um, your welcome sequence is, or like call it the first week or whatever, to really
Mhm.
get people to have that affinity for your brand and to really you know be excited to
Yeah.
open your emails. And um, right now all I'm doing is just one welcome email, right? So, and I think most people that's all they're doing, right? Obviously, we know a lot of local media companies, the old school ones, they do nothing. It's hilarious how many
Yeah.
of them don't have a welcome email. But all of us in the kind of more newer versions, we've got a welcome email. But I'm just wondering, how much better can we do than that? Is that really the best? Because I know there's always the angle of like, well, do you want to overdo it by sending them 3 or 5 or whatever? There's pros and cons to all the angles, but I just think one welcome email and then wait till you get the first one and that's it. For some reason, I'm just thinking that's not enough, and I'm curious, how have you thought much about this, or have any thoughts about welcome sequences or doing more than just a standard welcome email?
Yeah, I think there's definitely room for a sequence of welcome emails, right? And I know Philip does it, right? Philip
Oh
does
yeah.
it where yeah, so he has like I think a welcome email and then he has like a second email or something that goes out. Um, but the way he has a second email is let's say if the newsletter is being sent on a Monday, then he has it set up that the second email will be sent out when a day where the newsletter is not being sent out,
Yeah,
basically.
that's one of the things that worries me is them getting two emails from you around the same time and it
Yeah.
being kind of
So
weird.
he set it up in Beehive in a way where they don't get that same email twice, right? Or I guess they don't get two emails on the same day,
Yeah.
right? And I know Milk Road does a great welcome sequence as well. I think they have like 3 or 4 emails in the first week, basically.
Mhm.
Right? And it's a great way to like, because at the end of the day, when someone first subscribes to your newsletter, that's kind of when they're the most engaged,
That's
right?
right.
Um,
Yep.
so that's when you want them. That's when you want them sharing your newsletter and so on and so forth. So I definitely understand the appeal in having a great welcome sequence. I just haven't had the time to like go down that road just yet, right? Yeah, I think those are great things, but they always come after once you know, focus on your revenue and sales and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done anything about it either yet because as usual, the options are you can do whatever you want, right? I mean, part of the first time I really started thinking about this was when I went to the conference, whenever that was 6 months ago, and the assist, which I think I've talked about on here before, they have like I think it's a 7 day sequence. Every day they send an email for 7 days. Now that's B2B, it may be quite a bit different than what we're doing, but to me, when I think about that and how they crush it with a 7 day sequence, and we're over here with just one, hey, we cover this and this, hey, we just want you to know who we are, and that's it. There's got to be a happy medium there. And so the question just becomes, what is it, and how's the best, what is the best way to do it? And I'm still struggling to figure it out, but something I'm going to work on more, and I'll
It
share as I come up with something. But yeah,
it has to be value first, I feel,
yeah, that's part of
You
what I'm
can
struggling with. Yeah,
you can't necessarily like spam them the first week they come in. It really has to be like, okay, if I'm sending 3 emails or 4 emails, it's the first one's a welcome email, second one is me sending a restaurant guide, third one is me sending like a, I don't know, that month's events guide, right? So it's like, okay, now I send them all the events that are happening that month, whereas in the newsletter I only cover the week, right? Something along those lines. And then last email, I can maybe make a call to action, again, giving them a gift of some sort, but then saying, hey, it would mean the world if you shared this with your friends and family or something like that, right? It really has to be that way rather than you kind of making an ask on every single email.
I 100% agree. I'm all about that. It's always value first. And again, it's funny. I sign up for all these random local media company ones, like not local newsletters. Um,
Yep.
and and how many of them are just like, here's an offer, here's an offer, and that's like all it is like, go buy this, go buy that. I'm like, holy crap, these people have no idea what they're doing. It's like, if I wasn't in the industry, I would unsubscribe instantly from all of these things. So yeah, you can't just spam them. Well, you can,
Yeah.
but it's a bad idea. So how do you give value first and build brand affinity? And it's just um, it's difficult to think through the best way to do it, but it is possible, and I'm working on it. So I just wanted to put it out there. If you have ideas, always share them, right? And I'll share them as I come up with some things on that angle.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Yeah.
I think it's definitely something that we all underutilize. So it's something to think about. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'll definitely try and get around to maybe this winter and put out like a 3 email, welcome sequence or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I can't recall if we've talked about this, but I just want to bring up one of my newest newsletters that I launched for the first time is with an actual real estate agent.
Nice.
Which is something I've wanted for a long time because I just want to like. It seems like the most obvious people who should be
Yeah.
doing this, and we're asking a question in the survey that says, hey, are you interested in buying a house today? Are you interested, or are you interested in, do you think you'll want to buy within the next 12 months, right? Something like that. And I mean, we launched this on Thursday or something. It's been like 5 days, and we have 25 people have said yes to one of those two questions, right?
Oh,
So
well.
yeah, I mean, and this is in an area, average home values almost $1 million.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so it's a big opportunity there. And again, it's almost very similar. That's why I was thinking about it, related to the welcome email angle of how do you uh, take advantage of the fact that you had 25 people tell you I am interested in real estate in the near future without being obnoxious or hey, gimme, that type of thing. What is a good strategy for sequences that you could build to reach out to those people in the most professional, not overbearing way? Because I need to start figuring this out now. We're getting tons of leads. Like I don't want them to just sit there, but we also don't want to annoy the hell out of people, right? Make them feel like, oh, this is just This is just a random sales pitch, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
would probably start a second like sequence of emails. Like if someone clicks yes, I am interested in buying or selling a home in let's say next 6 months, right? I'll probably take them down another welcome sequence that kind of warms them up to the idea and resources, right? Just kind of saying, hey, saw that you were interested. Let's say here's a community or a group that I have that answers any questions about buying and selling homes. Here's a PDF guide, right, that I have on what you need to get your home ready for sale, right? So on and so forth, right? Like that's the here's a checklist, whatever it might be. I think again going down that value first road, but then really trying to just try and automate that sequence, right? Like you realistically just have to build these resources out once.
Oh yeah, just
Um,
segmentation. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so I think that's the play is that if someone clicks on, yes, I am interested in buying or selling a home in the next 6 months, then they kind of go down this automated sequence of emails where it is again value first, right? Um, but then they kind of remember you whenever they are about to go buy or sell that home, right? Um, and then also you'll be running the newsletter, so every single time they'll check the newsletter, they'll say something like sponsored by ABC Realtor, right? So
Yes. I mean, again, you hit it out of the park on that one again. It's just thinking through the first email. I actually really like what you're saying of the first email, you should essentially potentially not ask them for anything, right?
yeah,
It's, hey, here is a guide on the real estate in the area, or here's some tips. Here's, something hopefully a little better than the generic crap,
yeah,
but still like just giving them something. Hey, I saw you click this. I wanted you to have this. Let me know if you have questions about it,
yeah,
then maybe getting them on the second or third email in the sequence down the road of, hey, by the way, I can help you with this as well. If you wanted to jump on a call or had any questions, I'm happy to
yeah.
answer for you. Because yeah, doing that after you've done something for them, as opposed to that being the first email, right? You said you're interested in real estate. I do real estate. I can help you. That you haven't earned anything at that point, right?
I like the Gary Vee model in this. Like, I mean, when I was starting social media way back, probably like 10 years ago or something, um, Gary always used to say, "Jab, jab, right hook," right? That's like his saying is, "Oh, you give, 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 and then ask."
Menu,
Um,
yeah.
and then it's the same thing if you study, let's say, um even like the Instagram algorithms and stuff, it's usually like 3 to 4 posts that's like organic, and then the fourth fifth one is usually the ad, right? So I think I would usually go about it the same way, where you want to do about 3 emails of just straight giving value to the person in any way you can, right? Leave a Calendly link in there for them to ask you questions and hop on a quick 15-minute call, right? And then on the fourth email, you can make that ask if you really wanted to, right? And then just let it be. I think you just do that, and it's a 4 email sequence, and you can let it be, or you can make this into a monthly email that you send out or something like that, right? Maybe because they said yes to that, they get signed up to like a unique real estate newsletter and not just like one of those generic here's the market update and the Federal Reserve cut rates and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, no, totally. Love that, man. Love that a lot.
Yeah.
Tell me, I've heard of a few of us in the space are starting to get help in their area, like getting whether it's somebody doing social media for them, somebody writing for them, even
hmm
maybe sales. Do you have anybody like who's on your team? I think you said you have at least like an assistant, although I don't know if they're in Winnipeg. But do you have anybody helping you with any sort of content in your area?
Yeah, so we have 3 people. So we have 2 VAs that kind of help with. One VA just does the writing. So she's just responsible for the writing and the research and everything. Um, right? The second VA is more for the Instagram side of things. So she puts together the carousels and all that. And she kind of does the whole outreach for sales. And then we have one more person who usually hops on calls. Like he's just on commission though. Like he doesn't have any base or anything. So he just does like sales for our newsletter and ads for that.
And is he in Winnipeg?
No, none of them are
Oh,
in Winnipeg.
none
All of
of them.
them are in the Philippines.
Okay, so they're more like, yeah, they're overseas staff, not like local people.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
okay. I mean
local people are
that's how
real
mine is
because
too for now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I don't. Well, I think we've shifted our model to heavy carousels, so I don't really think we
Okay.
need anyone local, anyways, to film a lot of
Okay.
content. The once in a while I need to film content, I'll just go and do it myself. It's not that big of a deal.
So okay, well that sounds interesting. So tell me about carousel. You're saying you're pivoting more to that as opposed to video?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've
Oh,
pivoted off of video for probably now like 6, 7 months. Honestly, we don't
really?
do.
Tell me
We
why.
just don't do much reels. We all everything we do is now carousels.
So what's the thinking or the data? Tell me why you're because I mean I think the general consensus, at least what I would have assumed, is Jacob's crushing it in Salem and just that um, video is seems better. But again, I haven't really done a ton of either one. So what's been your experience so far, and why are you going that way?
Yeah, my thought process is I don't want the brand to be associated with my face.
Oh, you
First thing
don't?
first.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So I do want to be removing. No, well, the goal has always been in the beginning. I did show my face a lot, right, to build that brand affinity in with the community. But then now, for the last 6, 7 months, I've actually scaled back how much I'm showing my face in videos. Almost, I actually don't really show my face in any video at this point. I don't do any green screen videos. Carousels. The plus point is it's easy to scroll, easy to share. Everyone can consume the information really quickly. Whereas in Reels, they kind of have to wait a while to be able to consume that information, right? Um, Third thing for me is carousels can still pop up in your For You tab, right? As long as you have music behind them. So they do have the a similar reach as Reels do. Another thing with carousels is that it's a lot easier of a lift, right? It's a lot easier to do. I can get a VA to make them. I don't have to necessarily make them. But I do think Reels have more of a unique standpoint. Like I think they have more of a USP, right? Than carousels do, because carousels anyone can do. Whereas reels take a lot more effort to create. So that's why I think reels are the better route to go longer term, especially with more creative campaigns, whether you're gonna, creatively promote Christmas lights or a coffee party or something like that. I think reels are definitely the way to go there. I think carousels are great when you're looking to keep posting content on a day-to-day basis.
Interesting. So you almost it sounds like you're saying it's more to do with just you and your personal situation where you're trying to not be the face of the brand and that you just don't want to the amount of effort it takes, which I understand because that's one of the reasons I don't do it. That it's just more effort and it's you're doing well enough without doing it. So
Yeah, and I mean we did it for like what, like 8 months, where we
mhm.
basically posted 4 or 5 reels a week, right? Um, and afterwards, now I think carousels do good for us because they're information first, easy to do, right? And we have been able to build a good audience already, right? Like I think reels are great when you're starting out because you need more exposure. Carousels are great when you have an audience because the more people that share the carousel, the reach is just going to keep expanding, right? So,
Yeah, interesting. That's a good point. Okay, I like it. Um, cool, man. Well, hey, tell us more. What's new on the sales front? It sounded like you've maybe got some new strategies with sales or just anything sales related. I think that's the thing people want to learn the most about is sales.
yeah, I mean, we now actually do probably about 40 to 50 outbound reach outs every day.
Okay.
Where we're reaching out to um, multiple businesses throughout the day. Um, and then, yeah, like we're probably booking new leads every week is about, let's say, I would say 10 from outbound. 10 new outbound leads every single week, out of which some are more interested in single one-off ads. We usually try to sell them on the annual though. So that's been going well. I think fairly soon we're gonna run into a supply constraint though. I think that's gonna be our bottleneck, is we're not gonna have ads to basically sell. Um, which is why I'm starting the business lights thing, is that I would rather just want Winnipeg Digest to be a cash flowing thing, and then I'm able to really help grow the home services side of things and promote that in the Winnipeg Digest instead.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you? How many days a week are you?
We do it 3 times a week.
You're doing three. Are you, in terms of the constraint problem, do you see yourself going to five, or do you not want to do five?
I don't want to do 5. I think the content that we will put out will kind of go down significantly simply because I mean, sometimes on 3 times a week, I have a problem finding content to talk about, you know? Um, and so that's why I don't want to go to 5 because I feel like, yeah, emails will be shorter for sure, but there will also just be like less things I can talk about, right? Then we might need to mention a little 1 or 2 things about crime and all that, and that's not something that I want to do. Yeah.
Um, Hey, one thing as for me, I'm still not pushing very hard on sales, but I'm getting more inbound, even from mostly smaller brands who just want to
Mhm.
buy one or a couple ads. Not they don't want to be annual partners. Um, and how I'm still struggling with how to manage the process of all this. Again, as usual, it's like you don't think about this until it's like, oh crap, I have to take money from these people. I have to plan when their ad's
Yeah.
going to be and all this stuff. Even for me right now, just the kind of CRM slash how to take money from them. I know I can do it, but it's just a pain in the butt. Like I'm going in and having to create them in Stripe
Yeah.
as a customer and then send it to them. And it's like for a one off, it's like a lot of work to do that. I feel like there's got to be an easier way. Is there any advice you have there on that?
I kind of live and die by Notion. I'm definitely
Okay.
not as good with it as Ryan is probably. But I mean I can share my screen if that's something you're
Yeah.
interested in.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Um Here, let's see. One sec. It's screen. Okay, let me know once you can see it. So I mean I have a really, really simple simple kind of thing here. Let me see which one it's even sharing. One sec. Um, but I have a very simple, I would say, kind of way of working. If I can just even find. Sorry about that. Give me one second. Wait, that's not it. Um, okay, let me know once you can see my screen.
Yep.
Yeah. So the way we usually I have this is kind of my weekly thing, so I kind of track everything here. This is like month to month, all the changes I need to make for each of the clients. And then let's say I go to my leads pipeline. I have my leads pipeline kind of organized according to have I sent an email, replied, call scheduled, discovery show, proposal, and then I can have the amount that this lead is worth to me in there as well, kind of what my conversion rate is, how many people I get to send a proposal to. I have all that set up, right? Then I can also go into my sales script and stuff down here as well, right? So I can do all of that kind of through Notion. And then so I just have different tabs for each thing. Like if I go for clients, then under each of these clients, so for example, for Verge, here are all the ads who have run for them split across months, right? How many ads they have left under their contract, um, and then here's like all or basically content schedule for all of the ads that we run, right? So this was August basically, right? So almost all days were sold out. We just don't have these two sold out, but the rest are. And then just seeing what company is running ads on what date. Is it just social? Is it email as well? So we have it. So that's kind of the general makeshift system that we have right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's impressive. That seems quite complicated to me. So I think you built. Did you build that all yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I just put together I just took a few different templates from a few different Notion guides that already existed, and then I just kind of glued them together.
Yeah. Nice. How do you actually take payments? What system do you use for that?
I just use QuickBooks.
Oh, you can take payments directly from QuickBooks?
Yeah, I just take payments through
Okay.
QuickBooks. Yeah, you can ask for a credit card and stuff on QuickBooks, and then yeah,
Okay. Maybe that's I do have QuickBooks and I probably need to look into that. Okay, because I've been using
yeah.
Stripe. It's a pain. So
It's like a similar, I would say it's a very similar processing fee and stuff. It's not that
Yeah.
big of a difference. It's just on QuickBooks, everything lives in one place, right?
That's the whole
Um,
point. Just use one.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what I use for accepting payments. But then, yeah, generally for Notion, I live on three different tabs. I would say I have the general tab, which is my week at a on basically at a glance. Then I have my leads pipeline, which I keep updating depending on how many emails I've sent, when is the next follow up I have to send, so on and so forth. And then I have a clients one where again just seeing for the following newsletters, who are the ads for, what's the ad about, all the notes and stuff are under that.
Um,
Yeah.
when you do you have a publicly or maybe not publicly, but even if somebody asked for pricing, I know this was a big controversy a while ago. I haven't heard too many people talk about it lately though, is if somebody asked for pricing like in email or like on Instagram or something, will you give it to them? Like especially an annual partner type, will you give it to them or you force them to get on a call? Because I'm having this dilemma right now because I got what potentially could be a big one, but he's asking me to just give him a number. And I'm kind of like not wanting to do that, but he's not responding to want to jump on a call. I don't know. How do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I usually will get them to hop on a call. I would say 97% hop on a call. There's like a 3% which are like, hey, no, just give us the pricing. We have to discuss it internally to see if it's even worth it for us to hop on
Mm-hmm.
this call. So for those people, I'll send a very lengthy email basically describing everything that we offer, right? So that's the way I've gone about for them is that I'll send the media kit along with a very long email about how we think we can work together, the pros and the cons, and what the pricing entails. And if they spend over $12,000 a year with us, they get exclusivity and all this stuff as well.
So don't just send him an email that says, "Oh, it's 10 grand or whatever,"
Yeah,
because
I
yeah, that
definitely don't do that. Yeah, I definitely don't do that. It's usually I 97% of the times I'm like getting them on a call. If I can't get them on a call, then I'll just send an email.
yeah, okay, yeah. I need to push a little harder as a custom home builder, which I feel like is a one of the
That's a
big
great
dogs
fit.
that is a great fit, and they're really going to care about exclusivity. They only need one sale to make a ton of money. It
Yeah.
feels like the no brainer. So that's actually the one that I got from DMing on Instagram. Just sent a bunch of
Something
DMs.
kind of sleazy that we do a little bit. I mean, not the best probably thing to do, but um, is that let's say we will start reaching out to other people the second we get a yes from someone else. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say you got a yes from the custom home builder, we're gonna reach out to every other custom home builder and say, "Hey, we're in early talks with someone else from your industry. We just thought we would reach out to you and see if you're interested in this." As once they get the exclusivity, it's kind of done.
Yep.
Then you won't be able to get it. So that allows us to really be able to get other people on the line way faster.
Yeah, totally. I love it. I mean, that's a traditional sales technique, right? I mean, at least when you can do exclusivity, and which is not always common, but something like this you can. You say, "Hey, I'm talking to somebody else. You better buy it now," right? It's like on, shit, I was trying to buy a ticket today. Like, oh, there's only 2 seats left. Like, really? Is there only 2 seats left 6 months out? I mean, maybe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
anyway. Um, cool, man. What? Anything else that you want to go over, Jazz?
I think that kind of covers everything, all the updates that have happened in the last month. Maybe next time we hop on a call, have a few more, we'll have a few more holiday lights
Oh
booked
yeah,
in and things like that. So that'll be fun and seeing what the update there is. Right now, I mean, so the update right now is $2,500 in booked revenue, from one kind of, I guess, design consultation. Let's see how the rest go. We have three scheduled for tomorrow also. Let's see.
nice, man. I'm excited for it. I feel like you're one of the few guys who's really taking action on this, build a legitimate kind of call it home services business on the top of this. And I think you're going to pave the way for a bunch of people. So I'm excited.
No, I think it should be exciting. And yeah, I mean, if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter. Twitter's probably the best way.
There you go. Same here. If anybody has questions you want me to ask Jazz or me on the next
Yeah.
time we chat in a month or so, let me know. Message us. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jazz. See ya.
Yeah. Yeah.